Hello, wild ones. I got to where I'm going a little early, so I thought I'd do an intro for you. I headed to LaConner, Washington with my mom and stopped in Conway at an awesome antique store on the way. And we went to see the Museum of Northwest Art, MONA. It's a new exhibit. And it was lovely and changes the way I think about metal and the way I think about quilting, and it is so cool. So I took lots of video of both the exhibit itself and some of the fun things we did around town, but it was a lovely trip, and I hope that you enjoy it. So this is a private residence in Conway, but he has decorated the front of his house with all sorts of strangeness and weird finds. And he, I guess, is a little prickly, but as long as you're respectful and stay on the public right-of-way, you can look at it. This is a horse made of saddle bits. I don't know if you can, there it is. There's the horse head. It's a lot of just stuff on top of stuff, but it was a really interesting way into our weekend because what we were going to see was so much of this thought as well. And I'm always inspired by this kind of look, but I don't know if I could pull it off in my own life. And he decorated his side of the street, and then I guess his across the street neighbor said, fine, you can decorate my side too. So this is his neighbor's fence, which is also pretty cool. I loved how he used bottle caps and license plates and just chainsaw blades, like in such a unique way and so layered. And how the color, that red color really shot through. Those are all nail heads and plastic bottle caps and tin bottle caps, just stacked on top of stacks. And so interesting how layering lots and lots of things becomes this beautiful, glorious cacophony of stuff. Those are all plates. The back of that is plates from electrical and more chainsaw blades, more bottle caps, some skis, a little bit of everything. This is inside the antique store called Curious Goods, and it is in Conway, Washington, a real standout. If you are liking this content, it helps us so much. Small creators love when you leave comments and engage with it. Send it to a friend, whatever works for you, but hopefully you love it. So please like and subscribe and know when I'm getting the next thing out. We came to LaConner for Mona and this exhibit. So this is the work of Ross Palmer Beecher. She is a artist from Seattle. She's actually from the East Coast, but has lived in Seattle since the 70s. She loves working with found objects and metal and creating these elaborate quilt-like structures. She's very inspired by quilts, flags, portraiture, and all of the work is just encrusted with texture and deep shapes and lots of meaning, and really going after themes that are so interesting. If you look on the sides of this, those are gun barrels and lots of fun and interesting textures interwoven into what she works with. This is a piece all about bees, and the honeycomb structures are both copper and stained glass in cigar boxes, which is kind of interesting. But I think this might have been my favorite piece, mainly because of the shadow that it cast on the wall, and it had eyeballs, so I'm immediately in. This is some rolled texture, kind of like rolled gum wrappers, and really, really beautiful, elaborate pieces. And she works all with her hands. Everything she creates is done with tools that are cold joining tools, so she doesn't weld too much, I don't think. I think it's mainly built through hole punches and sewing with wire. She had a whole flag and patriotic section. These headstone quotes were also incredibly beautiful up close, more leaning towards the Milagros style and just the hours of work, but also the sentiment and the clever use of findings was so cool. We'll leave on this one last quilt. She really, truly has an inspired hand and such a cool way of working with it. It's up till September 20th. This is Pioneer Park at the far end of LaConner, and you get to walk underneath the Rainbow Bridge to get there. We also looked at some people's gardens and then another sculpture right on the waterfront. It was a lovely trip and so good to spend some time with my beautiful mom. Wild ones, I hope you stay weird, stay wild, and find the wild things just sitting in plain sight, like this little heron who is hanging out and preening himself or herself right next to the eagle fountain, which I thought was adorable.